Hey everyone, thank you for stopping by my channel today. My name is Kim and this is Bandit. I was looking through my analytics and much to my, I guess, surprise and delight is that one of my most popular videos is the Pikachu parade, and that video was made in 2017. Back then, that was the third Pikachu event. The very first Pikachu Outbreak event happened in 2014. And unfortunately, it is no longer in existence. So I thought what I'd do today is kind of take a little trip back and share with you 4 events or places that I absolutely loved and wondered why they just disappeared. Stay tuned to the end to find out which of these 4 places or events are going to happen again. All right, let's go. The Pikachu Outbreak happened during the summertime, usually around the first or second week of August. I believe it was a week long with different events held throughout the Minato Mirai area of Yokohama. When you went to the shopping malls, you could often be surprised with a special Pikachu parade. I thought it was really cute to see them marching along. At Sakuragicho Station, they passed out free paper visors with Pikachu on it. They had some merchandise available, but it wasn't as much as they had in the following years. In 2017, they had water shows, so Pikachu and different performers would perform on stage, but they'd splash the audience to keep everybody cooled down. You can see that it was crowded, but most everybody could get a good view of the Pikachus marching. Inside Queen Squares, they had lots of decorations, and there were plenty of Pikachu statues that you could take photos with. My friend and I went to the water shows, and then in the evening we lined up and we were able to get a good view of the parade. You could see us with our Pikachu gear. It was really festive and lots of fun. The following year, in 2018, they added a few more shows. They had some shows on the water, they also expanded and added Eevee to the list of shows. So I walked over to the Red Brick Warehouse area and caught the Eevee show, which was really cute because they had all the different Eevees dancing and just having fun. But I imagine it was probably quite hot in those costumes. Once again, the visors, and of course all the Pikachu decorations all around Minato Mirai. In 2019, they expanded the area of the events. They had a lot more merchandise available, and the theme was a street Pikachu. So they had lots of disco and colorful Pikachu plushies, more t-shirts, and they even had an area where you could go play Pokemon Go. At that time, Pokemon Go was pretty popular, and if you went to these events, you could make friends with other players and collect special items on your game. I waited for the show because in this particular year they had a big electronic type of show. You can see from my watch, I waited 3 hours to get a seat, but it was well worth it. In 2020, the Pikachu outbreak had to be canceled because of COVID. I think also with the increasing number of people attending or wanting to attend, and with this festival being in the hottest time of the summer, they decided to discontinue the Outbreak, which is kind of sad because I really liked it. Another popular spot, especially with foreign tourists, was the Kawaii Monster Cafe in Harajuku. Once you step inside, you feel like you've just been transported into this wonderland of color, rainbows, and all kinds of psychedelic art. It closed in 2021. Some people said that it was because of COVID. They just had a hard time bouncing back. And it was a shame because it was a place to go for photos and just a place to have fun. This was the bathroom. Have you ever seen a more colorful bathroom? Every last detail was just so cool. The menu was also amazing. It had lots of colorful food, colorful dips for your French fries, and just a whole variety of different beverages and drinks. I got a drink that you made with test tubes. It was just a fun place to go for a party or just to celebrate being together with your friends. There was also entertainment. The workers there would get on board this, I guess it's like a carousel, and perform. It was so much fun to watch, and they even picked people from the audience to join them. They picked my friend Yoko and me, and we joined them on stage, and they taught us this little dance. We had a great time. Next, we have the prison hospital themed restaurant, Alcatraz. My friend and I went there in 2018, right before it closed. I'm really glad we got a chance to experience this very unique restaurant. As you can see, they have some very interesting drinks on the menu. Not for kids, by the way. Even the food items were a little bit bizarre. Keeping all within the theme, your food is served on bedpans. The prison nurses, who are your waitresses, stay in full character and they treat you as if you were a prisoner. It's all very bizarre, a little bit scary, but a lot of fun as well. This is one of our drinks. And then during the evening, you have a little unexpected happening. Oh shit. Oh my god. I know. What the?
That was good.
Oh my god. It's unclear why the restaurant had to close. Some say it was financial reasons, some say it was other things. So we'll never know, but rest in peace, Alcatraz. And finally, we have Anata no warehouse, which was in Kawasaki. And it looks like just an old rundown building, right? But it was so much more. Even when you enter, it looks so creepy, right? As you walk down the corridors and try to find the escalator or the elevator to take you upstairs, pass a lot of weird rooms like this. But as you go upstairs, you realize you've just entered this amazing game arcade. Even with all its old posters and decorations, it's supposed to look like the streets of Kowloon in Hong Kong, but it was home to so many retro games and just fun arcade games. The atmosphere was just something different and unique. They cited landlord disputes as the reason for its closure in 2019. So I'm really glad that I got to experience these events and places during the time they were active. One thing about Japan is that things are constantly changing. So you may have some restaurants or some events that take place every year or that have been open for ages. On the other hand, you have some things that come seasonally or just for a limited time. You never know if they're going to come back, and maybe that depends on how popular they are or how much money, I guess, they make. As I said in the video, sometimes things were inevitable, especially with the pandemic and COVID, and especially now with things like tourism and just crowds to consider, safety. So many things go into making sure that all these restaurants or events or places remain safe for the public and don't become a hazard, right? Well, as I said at the beginning of this video, I did have some good news, or at least I think it's good news, about one of these places or events reopening. Which one would you hope that it is? Or which one would you like to see reopened or revisited? Well, the answer is, dun, 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 the Kawaii Monster Cafe is reopening, and it's set to reopen in winter of 2025. That's just in a few months. The location will still be in Harajuku, except it will be right on Takeshita Street. Before it was in Harajuku, but it wasn't on the main street. I have put the link to the website, but the website is still in construction too. In fact, when I went to it, they're looking for people to work there. I'm excited about what new things they're going to have to offer because I'm sure it's going to be colorful and fun and kind of symbolic of Harajuku itself. So we can look forward to that. It did have a thing for tickets and coming soon, so I'm sure that it's going to be super popular. Probably my guess would be that it would open around Christmas time or during the winter break, in which case, yeah, I don't foresee myself being able to go right away, but who knows? I really hope that the Pikachu event reopens, but maybe they'd have to do it during a different time because summertime, I can imagine, was quite hot for not only the people going, but the workers, can you imagine being in one of the mascot suits? One of you commented on a previous video that it would be really nice to have other Pokemon characters and have themes and shows around these other characters, not just Pikachu, not just Eevee. And I agree. I think that would be fun to spotlight or focus on some other characters or have maybe some events geared to other characters. I do know that Pokemon Go is still popular, and I think they do have different events. Not so much in Yokohama anymore, but they did have a few Pokemon Go events in, I think they had one in Sendai. I'm not sure. But maybe they'll have it in other parts of Japan. But it was kind of fun having it in Yokohama. They just have to maybe think about crowd control and maybe change it up a bit, but it would be nice to have that back. And as for the arcade, I've heard that there's a similar themed one. I'm not sure where. I'll have to check that out because I saw that in another video. It had a similar kind of grungy type of theme. But the thing that was so cool about that warehouse is because not only was the atmosphere cool, but the games that they had in the arcade were pretty cool as well. Not just the UFO catchers or crane games and the popular video games, but they also had a lot of retro games. And for an old school person like myself, it was kind of fun to see those retro arcade games. Anyways, as you've probably noticed during the video, I did have cards to check out the original videos that I made of these topics. And I did put a link to the new upcoming Kawaii Monster Cafe. I'm looking forward to it, and maybe I can even go with the original people that I went with the first time. But I don't know if they would call me to dance on the stage anymore. If you haven't subscribed already and you're interested in content about Japan or teaching in Japan, working in Japan, what it's like to live in Japan, what it's like to be a senior citizen, a senior dog mom, any of those things, I hope you will consider subscribing. And as always, thank you so much for your support, your kind messages, and I look forward to seeing you, I hope, in the next video. Take care.